The darkest part of your story, the place where the light went out and the house of you trembled, is not a wound to be excised like a tumor, but a furnace in which the metal of your spirit has been forged. We live in a culture that pities darkness as if it were a crime. We adorn our feeds with staged joy and erase our own margins for fear they will show us as ugly, broken, unfinished. Yet what is strength but the residue of fire? What is depth but a geology of scars? Imagine yourself as a river. The sun smiles and the breeze plays. You glide glassy and content. Then the rain hammers, the banks collapse, the earth splits. You are churned through roots and rocks. You taste iron and mud. If you lament only the violence, you miss the fact that the very turbulence has carved your channel. The deepest rivers have been through the worst storms. So it is with the soul. The darkest chapter is not a failure of design, but the builder's secret, where architecture gets its angles. Darkness is not absence, it is density. It is the thick, fecund loam where seeds germinate unseen. In the blackness of a rotten log, millions of organisms do their alchemy. Decay becomes compost. Death becomes the very soil of new green. If you pretend your decay never occurred, you starve the next growth. The edginess of life comes from saying this plainly and refusing to sweeten it. You were broken. You were bent to the point of splinter. But the act of breaking rearranged your pieces into a configuration of unusual strength. Look squarely at the parts you have been taught to hide. Shame is a neat, ideological bank that the social world deposits upon you. It keeps you tidy, predictable, marketable. But shame compresses vitality into a brittle coin. Break that coin. Spend it. Spend yourself into authenticity. There is a certain ferocity required to reclaim your story and to cut out the polite narrative that says you are only a shining exemplar. Be willing to be complicated, to be a carnival of contradictions, tender and fierce, wounded and dangerous, soft in the edges and hard in the center. We are taught to think of progress as a straight ladder upward. This is a Christian industrial myth dressed up in motivational posters. Real growth is messy and circular. The prodigal child does not return along a straight road. They stagger, crawl, steal back what they thought lost. The darkest part of your story is the return trip. Not a redemption staged by others, but a reclamation performed by you in the shadowy, unmapped alleys of your own heart. In that reclaiming, you learn to hold paradox. You are both perpetrator and victim, ruin and rescue. This is an edgy truth because it refuses to let you off the hook and also refuses to reduce you to your worst act. There is a certain cruelty in comfort. We buy it like a drug and then wonder why our bones complain. The soul, if left in perpetual ease, atrophies. It is the stretch and the tear that make muscle. So, when your life was ripped open, when the partnerships dissolved, when the body betrayed you, when the system crushed you into a corner, this is not a cosmic insult. It is an initiation, wise or not. The universe does not distinguish between gentle lessons and brutal ones. Both teach. The wise person will accept the lesson in its raw form and wear the scars like medals of apprenticeship rather than trophies of martyrdom. The edgiest thing you can do with your darkness is to love it. To love darkness does not mean to romanticize suffering as morally superior. It means to recognize that within the blackness, the subtler, fiercer elements of your character have been formed. You can cultivate tenderness toward your brokenness without becoming sentimental about what broke you. Tenderness and ferocity can be siblings not reconciled in platitudes, but allied in practice. Hold your grief with the same hands that will lift a weapon against injustice. Let compassion and righteous anger cohabit. This combination is volatile and creative. It remakes not merely the self, but the world in front of you. Do not seek bland wholeness. Wholeness is a myth sold by merchants who profit from your compliance. Instead, aim for integrity, a life where your internal contradictions are transparent and where the dark seams are visible and honored. Walk into your days with the acknowledgement that your past is a map of mines and also of treasure troves. You will step on some explosives and you will find golden veins. Both will teach you direction. There is also an ethical danger here, the temptation to fetishize pain as a source of moral authority. Beware the person who parades suffering as if it were a credential. Wounds do not automatically ennoble. They can corrode, or they can clarify. Use your experience not as a bludgeon to lecture others, but as a lantern to guide them past the pitfalls you learn to avoid. The strongest part of your soul, birthed in darkness, should not be turned inward as a sharp, corrosive point that excoriates. It should be a hand extended, an arm to hold.